Hello, I am do skyblock. I don't know what to say here. Okay, now I go over here. Okay. Arm. Right. Okay. Okay. Alright. Doing this stuff. Sorry if I don't talk much. Wait, looks like you gotta do quest log, upcoming events. Oh wait, collection. Uh-huh. I don't want that. Getting some wheat very easily. Okay, gotta find a guy who will give me that stuff. Cleaver. Wait, recipe. Eternal crystal? Day crystal. Oh my god. And then this, just enchanted quartz. Just quartz. So on. See no recipe for the cleaver. Okay. Gotta find a guy to do this stuff, Haha, was weaponsmith. So, spy sword. Wait, what? Where'd it go? Where is the thing? I need to know what the thing is. What? Where the thing? Where is the thing? Where is the thing? I need to know where the thing is. What the fuck?
Hello everybody, it's Alex and welcome to another Hypixel skyblock video. So in this video I will be doing a guide on the different swords in Hypixel skyblock and what are the best ones to get and why and how to get them. So yeah, if you missed it, I already did a guide on armor. I recommend checking that out. But yeah, there's a couple different swords I want to cover this video. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so the first sword I want to cover is the undead sword. Now, last time I talked about going to the armor smith. This time I'm going to talk about going to the weaponsmith, because if you go over here, you find this guy called the weaponsmith. Now here you can buy various different swords for pretty cheap. You can buy the undead sword, the end sword, the spider sword, and just a plain old diamond sword. Now, the best sword here is not actually diamond sword. The best sword here is the undead sword. While it does do 5 less damage than the diamond sword, almost all the mobs you will be fighting are undead, and it does plus 100% damage to undead mobs. So I don't actually have one of these, so I'm gonna buy one right now. But basically, anytime I hit a undead mob, I do a 60 damage to it, 60 base damage, plus whatever amount of strength I have to the mob. Yeah, and as I mentioned, pretty much all the mobs you're fighting are undead. All the mobs in graveyard over this way are zombies. Yeah, and then in the nether castle, there are wither skeletons, which are also undead. Not all the mobs there are undead, and then the spider's den, obviously, are not undead. And almost all the mobs in the deep caverns that are actually going to give you trouble are undead, meaning that this sword is great. It is a great beginner sword. Basically, it's the first sword you want to get, as it affects most of the monsters you'll be fighting. So let's say you go ahead and do your mining quest, and you reach gold collection level 2. So at level 2, you unlock this sword called the cleaver. Which does 40 damage, and it basically has the equivalent of Minecraft 1.9 and above Sweeping Edge. So this does 10 more damage than the undead sword, although it does 40 damage, period. It doesn't do extra damage to undead mobs. But this is a really good sword to get, so I recommend crafting. Now the question is, which sword do you use? Do you use the undead sword or the cleaver? I actually recommend using both. So I recommend using your undead sword as your main sword, since, like I said, most of the mobs you're fighting are undead. But I also recommend carrying around the cleaver as well, so that when you're fighting spiders or slimes or magma cubes or basically anything that's not undead, you can use the cleaver to fight them, as it does do more damage. Okay, so now the next step up from these beginner swords is the Ember Rod, and these swords do 80 damage and give plus 35 strength, which is basically you do over 100 damage from this sword, which is way more than the cleaver or from the undead sword. So this is a really good weapon that you're gonna want to get, although it is pretty hard to get. So there are 2 ways you can get this. One, you can simply buy it from the auction house, which might actually be easier to do than the other method. So yeah, you can find them from like anywhere from 100 to 200,000, and you can get them that way, and like I said, they do a ton of damage. And then the other method you can use is actually getting the sword yourself.